We'll just run a really quick residential search. Just going to put in a little bit of criteria here. Let's see, we got 47 matches. That'll work. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to the results screen. And I want to talk to you about how you can customize your results grid. Anytime you run a search, of course, you come into this. It's called the single line display. This display grid can be customized. You can add items to it. Any field that you would find in the listing form can be added to the results grid. So, of course, I just ran this one really quickly on a single family home search. So let's just say, for example, you wanted to add HOA fees. Any one of these columns, you can hover over that column until you see the crosshair there with your mouse. So then I'll just left click and select insert column. And then you'll get this search bar. Now, if I were to scroll through the list, as I mentioned, every single field that's available in the listing form is available to add to your results grid. But of course, we're going to add HOA fees. So I'm just going to begin to type HOA. And then here we see HOA fees. So I'm going to click on that and select apply. And here we see it pops in. I can move this column. Once again, hovering over the column until I get that crosshair. I can just left click and drag. I'll put it over here next to the price. Now, in addition to knowing the HOA fee, it's also good to know how often that fee's paid. So let's just hover over, and this works for any column. I typically use the address column just because it's large and you guys can see it a little bit better. So I'm just going to left click again and insert column. And in this search field, once again, I'll type HOA. This time I'm looking for the fee frequency. So it's important to know the HOA fee or the condo fee, but it's also important to know how often it's paid. So we'll add that HOA fee frequency and select apply. And then once again, hovering over the top of that column, left click and drag. So I have these fields all together. Another thing that I can do is I can sort by my columns. So let's just say I want to put my columns in order of list price based on the least expensive to the most expensive. I can hover over that list price until I see that font turn orange. Then I can left click one time and my results will be in order, ascending order from the least expensive to the most expensive. If I click a second time, it changes that order into descending order. So then we see that most expensive to the least expensive. I can also sort by city. So for example, if I want to put the cities in alphabetical order, again, just one click is going to put them in alphabetical order. Now I had my columns sorted in descending order over here on price from most expensive to least expensive. So once I select my cities and put them in alphabetical order, then that price field is going to hold. It's going to sort, for example, Alva, we have the least expensive to the most expensive. We jump down here to Cape Coral and we see that the Cape Coral listings are in there from the least expensive to the most expensive listing. And that works on any of these fields. You can just hover over until you get that orange, and you can just click one time for ascending order or two times for descending order. Anytime we run a search for an active listing, the sold price field and the sold date, column, sold price column and the sold date column will never be populated because, of course, we're looking for active listings. So any columns like this that you're not using, you can once again hover until you see that crosshair, left click, and in this case, we'll select to remove the column. And we can do that again with the sold date. Now you'll notice I'm getting that orange font if I hover like that, but if I just move my mouse just above it, I'll get that crosshair where I can left click and remove that column. You can set up multiple custom display grids. For example, we're working on this one for single family homes, and we added the HOA fees. You can add other columns as well. It's up to you what you want to add. And of course, you have your columns that are here by default. Once you get these set up the way you want, you'll click on the pencil and paper icon here that says Manage Display. Go ahead and give that a click, and then just delete the single line text and type in whatever you want to name this display. So this would be, for example, our single family home display. And then I can click Save as a Copy. To set up several of these, you can click here in that drop down arrow, and you can change your choices. So let's just say you set up a custom grid for CMAs. So for example, if I were searching for comps, I would want to leave in that sold information that I just removed a moment ago, the sold price and the sold date. That's of course the most important information you can have on your comps. So I would leave that information in. And then of course, any information that I would want to include, any fields that I would want to add for a custom comps display. And then again, I would just click on Manage Display and save that as my comps display. I can run a condo search and add in condo fees. Instead of the HOA fees, if I were searching for condos, I could add in condo fees and condo fee frequency. And then of course I could save that as my condo display. Click Save as a Copy. Then anytime I run a search and I come into my results grid on this tab, I can just click that down arrow where it says single line and change over to my custom display.